It's 8 now. Jeremy Corbyn has repeatedly refused to apologise to the Jewish community after the chief rabbi claimed his failure to tackle anti-Semitism made him unfit to be Prime Minister.
In an interview with the BBC's Andrew Neil, he said his government would protect every community against abuse, but he declined 4 times to say sorry. Well, Labour's Jonathan Ashworth joins us now live from Sheffield. Mr Ashworth, thank you for joining us. What is it with Jeremy Corbyn that he's simply incapable of saying one word to even try to make the Jewish people of this country feel comforted?
Well, can I start that? First of all, I feel a tremendous sense of sorrow, and I want to say sorry for the hurt and the upset that the Jewish community are feeling because the Labour Party has been too slow in dealing with instances of anti-Semitism when we found it within our ranks. I think Jeremy Corbyn has in the past apologised, and if you Google that, you would find, articles where he has apologised to the Jewish community. But look, let's be clear, it's obvious that the Jewish community feels aggrieved, rightly so, upset, understandably so, and we in the Labour Party have to work harder to regain their trust and improve our procedures so that when we're faced with anti-Semitism amongst our members, and it's usually on sort of Facebook and things like that we deal with it promptly.
Well, you've had no problem,
although the procedures have been strengthened.
Right, but you've had no trouble saying you're sorry on behalf of the party. Your leader 4 times was asked on the day the chief rabbi has come out and said he's unfit to be Prime Minister because of the way that Jewish people feel in this country. He was incapable of just saying, I'm sorry. What's wrong with him?
Well, I think he has apologised in the past.
So why couldn't he last night?
He is motivated. Well, I mean, he has. I'm not actually seeing it, but I've obviously seen the reports of it. But I would have thought it's because, he's apologised in the past. But as I say, I feel a great sense of sorrow, and I want to apologise. And it's right. Our procedures need to be strengthened further.
Jonathan Ashworth, you've now apologised more than once in this interview. He was given 4 opportunities to apologise. Did he make a mistake? Did your leader make a mistake last night by not saying sorry in one of the most crucial interviews he will do in this campaign at a critical time for the Jewish community?
Well, I think it's because he's apologised in the past, and he probably feels that he's made an apology in the past, and that is on the record.
He didn't say that last night.
And he's also. And we have strengthened the procedures in the Labour Party, although they can always be strengthened further, obviously.
Was it a mistake for him not to apologise last night? Was it a mistake for him not to apologise?
Well, I've not seen the debate. I didn't see the interview, so I don't quite know what the cut and thrust of it was. But I know he's apologised in the past, we've
got the clip actually. If you want to hear the clip, we've got the piece of the interview. Here we go.
Wouldn't you like to take this opportunity tonight to apologise to the British Jewish community for what's happened?
What I'll say is this. I am determined that our society will be safe for people of all faiths. I don't want anyone to be feeling insecure in our society, and our government will protect every community against the abuse they receive on the streets, on the trains, or in any other form of life.
Try one more time.
No, hang on a minute, Andrew. Can I explain what we're trying to do?
You have, and you've been given plenty of time to do it. I asked you if you wanted to apologise.
Andrew, I don't want anyone to go through what anyone has gone through.
And you've said that several times. I understand that, Mr Corbyn. I was asking you about an apology.
I mean, it was excruciating.
No apology and no explanation that he's apologised before, which is what you're saying is the justification for him apologising. Not apologising last night.
He has apologised before. He has apologised before, and he was also saying that he will stand up and support and ensure the security of every community, because anti-Semitism is rising in society. We see more and more attacks on synagogues and Jewish schools. That is absolutely unacceptable. It is foul. And we need to put the resources in place to ensure the security of the Jewish community, and to ensure the security of synagogues and other places of worship and schools.
Was it a mistake last night for Jeremy Corbyn not to give a clearer answer about what he would do in the circumstances that there's an ISIS leader, our forces could take that ISIS leader out, and Jeremy Corbyn said, well, we'd respect international law, we'd try to arrest them, wouldn't give a clear answer on whether he would give the order to kill?
Well, I mean, these sort of hypotheticals are always tricky for politicians to respond to. I mean, we've had the debate on here, haven't we, Piers, about would you press the nuclear button or not? I mean, it's.
I don't think
the
they
point
are
he's trying
hard
to
to
make
answer.
is that
You, by the way, never seem to find it difficult to answer. Right, whether it's apologising to the Jewish people for anti-Semitism in the party or whether it's pressing nuclear buttons if we have to, you've always been able to answer. It's Jeremy Corbyn's chronic inability to give a straight answer to these things that worries people. He can't apologise to the Jewish people when he's asked 4 times. He can't say that if we cornered the leader of ISIS, he would give an order to kill the leader of ISIS. He couldn't give any straight answers about funding for various flagship policies of the party. I mean, for you and other members of the party like you, it must be utterly exasperating that you have a leader who seems incapable of leading.
Well, on the ISIS point, I think he's trying to make the argument that you should try and stick to international law because it's better if these people are tried in international criminal courts, and in that way, justice is seen to be done. I think that's the point he's trying to make.
It's quite hard to arrest someone who's wearing a suicide vest.
The reason I'm Well, I know, but this is the problem, isn't it, in hypotheticals, because you've got to... The context in these things can always be very, very different.
Well, the reason it's actually not that difficult. We literally just saw a few weeks ago the leader of ISIS, al-Baghdadi, cornered in a tunnel wearing a suicide vest, and they killed him.
Yeah.
And what we really want from our leader in this country is a clear, unequivocal statement that in a similar situation with the new leader of ISIS, if we were in that position, would the order be given to our forces to eliminate that threat? And when leaders prevaricate over that, it's concerning.
Well, in that particular context, in that particular circumstance, then of course, you know, I would entirely agree with the action that was taken in that context. But there's been other brutal figures in the world who've been caught, and we've tried to put them on trial, haven't we? I mean, we caught Saddam, for example. I think he was hiding in a hole. Do you remember? And we tried to put him on trial and so on. So it depends. I think he's trying to make the point. It depends on the context. But yeah, of course, in that circumstance that you've just outlined, when it's a threat to life, you've got to put the security of the nation first.
Well, that's really what we wanted to hear from your leader last night, but he couldn't.